Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into something that literally forms the bedrock of every single business deal out there. Today, we're unpacking the 8 mandatory essentials that take a conversation from just a casual chat to a legally binding offer. If you've ever wondered exactly when a simple promise turns into a strict legal commitment, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this. Is every single everyday promise or business discussion actually a valid contract offer? I mean, think about all the proposals you hear in a typical day. A friend offering to buy you coffee, a business partner casually tossing out an idea for a new project. Do all of these actually count in the eyes of the law? The short answer, no way. For a proposal to become a true, legally valid offer, it has to pass a very specific test. And that test is exactly what our 8-step legal checklist is all about. Right, so the very first rule on our checklist is that an offer actually has to exist in a recognizable form. Legally speaking, an offer can be either expressed or implied. Now, I know that sounds a little technical, but it's actually super straightforward. You see, the law totally recognizes that we communicate our intentions in a bunch of different ways. A valid offer doesn't always have to be some dramatic, formal declaration. Let's break down the difference here. An expressed offer just means the proposal is clearly announced. This is when somebody uses actual words, whether they're spoken out loud or written down in a document, to make their pitch. But an implied offer, that is really fascinating. This happens when an offer is made strictly through actions. Not a single word needs to be spoken. A perfect real-world example is sitting down at a restaurant. When a waiter serves you food, that right there is an implied offer. It's generally accepted by folks that you're going to pay for that meal and even leave a tip for the service, even though you obviously didn't draft up a contract before sitting down to eat. Moving on, our second essential is the intention to create a legal relationship. This one's absolutely crucial. For an offer to be valid, both parties genuinely have to intend to be legally bound to each other. They've got to have good intentions towards one another. Plus, there is a very strict rule here. Absolutely no illegal activities can be involved. If the subject of the offer involves something prohibited, it completely fails the step. A legal relationship, by definition, means a lawful one. Next up is essential number 3. The terms of the offer must be clear, definite, certain, and completely unambiguous. You just can't have a vague, fuzzy offer and expect the legal system to enforce it. If an offer is expressed, meaning, again, that it's put into words, it needs to be written out in a clear and neat form. Everyone involved needs to understand exactly what the heck is being proposed without any guesswork. That brings us to our fourth essential, which categorizes who the offer is actually for. You know, offers don't just have to be for one single person sitting in a closed room. According to the law, an offer can be categorized as either a specific offer or a public offer. Let's look at how they differ. So, a specific offer, which is sometimes called a special offer, is announced only to particular persons. Like, if a proposal is made strictly to you and nobody else, that's specific. On the flip side, a public offer is one that is willing to be accepted by anyone in society. It's actually also known as a common offer because, well, it's a common proposal open to everyone. A really great example of a public offer is a standard bus fare. All the passengers pay the exact same ticket fare, regardless of who they are. Let's move to and see how this builds into essential number 5, which actually highlights a super common trap. An offer and an invitation to offer are completely different beasts. An invitation to offer is just a prior step. It's basically what we do before actually placing a valid offer. Think of it as opening the door for negotiations, not finalizing them. Let's walk through this real-world life cycle to make it perfectly clear. Imagine we have party A and party B. Step 1, they have a casual discussion. Now, this is just an invitation, not an offer. Step 2, based on that chat, party A invites party B to a formal meeting. Believe it or not, still not an offer. Finally, in step 3, during that meeting, party A actually expresses the clear, definite terms of the proposal to party B. That, and literally only that, is the actual valid offer. Everything before it was just setting the stage. Essential number 6 dictates that the offer must be properly communicated to the offeree. The offeree is just the legal term for the person receiving the proposal. So the person making the offerer, absolutely must express the terms and conditions properly. If the details stay locked away in the offerer's head or they aren't clearly sent over, they can never reach their ultimate goal of having the offer accepted. Proper communication is literally the bridge to acceptance. Now, what's really interesting about this is essential number 7, which introduces cross offers. Imagine both parties happen to offer each other the exact same thing on the very same subject at the exact same price at the exact same time. You'd probably think, great, they agree, it's a contract. right? But legally, it is not a contract. When two identical cross offers are made, they simply cross paths in the mail, so to speak. Because neither party actually formally accepted the other's specific offer, there's no valid acceptance, which means no contract. And here we are at our final checklist item, essential number 8. An offer must be distinguished from a mere declaration of intention. You can't just file a legal case against someone because they declared they intended to do something someday. Without the assurance of exact, complete details provided by the offerer, there is zero chance for a valid acceptance. And obviously, if there's no chance of acceptance, there's absolutely no chance of filing a legal case. And this brilliantly illustrates what I like to call the exhibition pitfall. Let's say someone simply mentions a date for an upcoming exhibition they want to throw, but they don't actually organize it, nor do they provide you with any complete or exact details. If that exhibition doesn't end up happening, you cannot file a legal case against them. Why? Because simply dropping a date is just a declaration of intention. Without those complete details, it completely fails to be a valid offer. So the crucial point is this: creating a legally binding offer is far, far more than just having a friendly chat or making some loose promise. It requires structure, from being clearly expressed or implied to having definite terms, proper communication, and genuine, lawful intent. A casual promise is never going to survive this 8-step checklist to become a legally valid offer. So the next time you sit down to negotiate, ask yourself, does your proposal actually pass the test? Thanks so much for hanging out with me in this explainer, and I hope this legal checklist empowers you in all your future agreements.